Absolutely tragic. Well, joining us now from southern Gaza is Sam Rose. He's the Senior Deputy Director of UNRWA Affairs in Gaza. Sam, thank you for joining us. Perhaps we just start with the latest situation on the ground in Gaza. Describe to us what is going on.
Thanks for having me on. I mean, the situation is absolutely catastrophic. You're hearing from correspondents reporting on the situation in the north. Absolutely harrowing conditions up there as hundreds of thousands of people are trapped, nowhere to go, under bombardment, no access to food and water, hospitals that are out of commission and are encircled, an absolutely devastating situation up in the north, and the rest of the Gaza Strip not much better, to be perfectly honest, as we enter the 13th month of this horror show. We're hearing similar reports as well of aid, all well-intentioned aid, falling from the sky, landing on tents and killing people, as the last speaker said. People don't want aid anymore. They want security. They want safety. They want this humiliation, injustice and helplessness to come to an end.
Sam, the UN Human Rights Office warns that Israel may be destroying the Palestinian population in northern Gaza through, quote, death and displacement. You talk to us that the situation in the north is absolutely dire. There's a blockade going on, and now these renewed airstrikes. It would seem that anyone still there is now a target.
I mean, they're certainly in the most desperate of conditions, a cry for help that is being echoed around the world that doesn't seem to be being heeded. Just in the past 5 days, we've had 3 attacks on UNRWA installations in the north that have led to large losses of life, 300 patients trapped in hospitals, requests and appeals for United Nations staff to enter with paramedics to retrieve people from underneath the rubble of destroyed buildings, and those requests are being denied. So, I mean, it is beyond anything really that we've seen since the start of the war, the situation that is playing out in northern Gaza under everyone's watch. And these are people that have been through this now for 12 months, every moment of every day, just injected with violence, with fear, with helplessness.
Yeah, as you say, the sustained bombardment of Gaza, death and misery. 42,000 is the latest, or more than the latest death toll. The horrors that you and your staff are witnessing. I mean, talk us through that. Explain to our audience what you see on a daily basis.
I mean, we go to bed at night wondering if our colleagues and our friends will wake up in the morning. The surroundings where I am are completely desolate. I drive 10, 15 kilometers from central Gaza to Khan Yunis every day, and the landscape completely desolate. You see more bombed out buildings than you see buildings that are standing, and the people are bereft, reduced to the absolute minimum of what they need to survive. We're way beyond talking about dignity here. It's children scrambling and scavenging on piles of rubble. It's old ladies queuing with jerry cans of water, trying to get, a tiny bit of water to wash themselves with, people wearing the same clothes for a year, dreaming of a cup of cold water and medicines and anything. But as I said at the outset, people just want security now. They want safety, and they feel that the world can see this happening, but has just abandoned them.
Yeah, they just want peace. I mean, what they are going through is simply dehumanizing. Sam, talk to us about the aid that is getting in. Obviously, we saw the airdrops of aid pallets. Tragically, one fell on a 3-year-old child. But what is getting in? Are there any land routes where aid is crossing? Explain to us what the latest is there.
I mean, right now, almost nothing is getting into Gaza in terms of humanitarian supplies. We're back to a situation that we were in last October, last November. We essentially have 3 main entry points Kerem Shalom in the south. We were able to get lots of aid and supplies in through that crossing point. But when the military operation started there in May, that was choked off, and it's been choked off since. We try and uplift supplies there, but whether it's the arbitrary process of clearance and getting supplies getting supplies approved to come in, that itself is difficult. But once those supplies are in, the breakdown in law and order, the criminality, the looting, the danger of the situation means that we're not able to get the aid out. So right now, nothing is coming in through southern Gaza. And southern Gaza is where 1.7 million people are living right now. Up in the north, there is a checkpoint, but again, it's not functioning properly for the people in Gaza City. And as I said, those in Jabalia, they're encircled, so we're not able to get in, they're not able to get out. No supplies have been able to get into Jabalia, where over 100,000 people, we believe, are trapped. No aid has got in there for 2 or 3 weeks now.
Sam Rose, we thank you and your staff for the incredible work that you are doing. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you.